Have you ever had an icy cool drink on a hot day and thought about what a luxury something as simple as cold water is? Imagine it's a hot summer's day. Not just warm, hot. Hot and humid. That oppressive weather that makes it feel like everywhere is a sauna and the air is made of soup. But did you ever think about what an absolutely amazing thing that is? We have a magic box in our house that keeps things fresh and cool. Our ancestors would have been thrilled with such convenience. Of course, without electricity and modern industry, our ancestors had to use what they had: stone, shovels, and ingenuity. Naturally, the laws of physics were the same in the past. Ice absorbs heat, melts, and makes things cooler. Ancient Chinese people didn't write physics textbooks. That school of science was still a few thousand years out. But that didn't mean they were stupid or ignorant. They knew and understood the world around them very well. Even if they couldn't explain how things worked, they could see the patterns and they could learn to use them. And one thing they knew very well is that ice is cold. And cold is a great way to not get heat stroke and to keep food fresh. And so, unlike the modern world, where a bag of frozen water is a mundane thing bought for a few dollars at the store, in ancient times, ice was a precious commodity. The first ice hunters. So who was the first genius to say, "Hey, let's keep this frozen water for summer"? We'll never know. And likely many unconnected people around the world had the same idea. But thanks to the Book of Songs, China's oldest poetry collection, we do know that people were cutting blocks of ice in winter and storing them underground in ice cellars. Now, ice cellars are exactly what they sound like: a cellar for ice. And they were the great-grandfather of your kitchen freezer. They even had an official job title for the guy in charge of getting the ice boss, which seems like a pretty cool job. By the time of the Warring States, around 400 BCE, China had a full-blown ice industry. Ice is luxury. Fast forward a bit, by the Han, Tang, and Song dynasties, ice wasn't just for survival, it was a flex. If you had blocks of ice in July, you weren't just staying cool. You were basically showing off like a guy driving a Lamborghini with the AC blasting. Case in point, the King of Yue Gojian, when it got too hot in southern China, he literally ate, drank, and slept in an ice kitchen. A low-tech walk-in freezer filled with blocks of ice. It might have smelled a bit funky, but hey, beats sweating. But he wasn't the only one. Another statesman, Shen Shuyu of Chu, took it further. He had an ice bedroom. The man slept on an actual bed of ice. Not because he was training for kung fu or martial arts, but because he liked wrapping himself in furs while snoozing on a block of ice. Basically, he was that guy sleeping under a weighted blanket with the AC on full in the height of summer. And just when you think it couldn't get any more extra, along comes the Tang dynasty. Yang Guifei's family threw summer banquets inside halls surrounded by mountains of ice. Guests literally shivered through dinner. Imagine eating a hot pot while your host says, "Ignore the frostbite, darling. Isn't this refreshing?" Honestly though, I'd be down for it. I'm not a big fan of the summer. The world's first refrigerator. Now, ice wasn't just for show. It also preserved food. In 1978, archaeologists digging up the tomb of Marquis Yi of Zheng found a bronze box. Think of it as the world's oldest mini-fridge. A double-layered container. Ice in the outer shell, food or wine in the inner. 2,000 years old and not that different from a cooler you might take to the beach on a picnic. Later dynasties upgraded to wooden 3-tier ice chests, with compartments for ice above and below with the food in the middle. And yes, people drank iced wine. The poet Chu Yuan even bragged about it in his verses. But cold drinks weren't cheap, Unless you were part of the elite, forget about sipping on ancient Chinese slushies. One chilly, creepy use. Here's the darker side. Ice wasn't only for food and feasts, it was also used to store bodies. Royalty got giant lacquer trays filled with ice to preserve their bodies. Lesser nobles? Smaller trays. And for the regular people, clay pots filled with water. By the Tang dynasty, it was official policy that only top-ranking officials could get an ice coffin in summer. Now that's a frosty class divide. It might be unexpected, but ice was as precious as diamonds in the ancient world. So, next time you grab a nice cold drink on a hot day, just imagine you're enjoying a luxury that the most wealthy and powerful kings, queens, lords, ladies, and emperors of China would envy.